Welcome to Tardisian Files. In today's episode, we will be discussing the suspects for The One Who Waits, what species he may be, and why the toy maker was so afraid of this unseen evil. Without further ado, let's jump right in. So, The One Who Waits was described by the toy maker in The Giggle as a being so powerful that even the toy maker dared not challenge him, opting instead to run away. Additionally, in The Star Beast, Beep the Meep refers to a mysterious boss who would be interested in learning that there was another two-hearted species on Earth after he had been defeated by the 14th Doctor. So far, we have very little concrete evidence as to who the One Who Waits is, but that doesn't mean that we can't speculate. So first of all, why do I think the boss and the One Who Waits are the same entity? For one thing, if Beep the Meep had been working for the toy maker, I feel like this would have been revealed in the events of The Giggle. Like, picture the toy maker saying something like, "Oh, you didn't heed the little Meep's warnings?" However, this wasn't the case. Secondly, the next time trailer for the upcoming season, not the newest one that's been released, but the one that was released at the end of the Christmas special, teased powers beyond this universe, with the Toymaker's legions and other fantastical creatures being set to appear. And it's these lingering questions from the 60th anniversary and the Christmas special that have set the stage for these beings to appear in the upcoming season. So I feel like the One Who Waits will probably be amongst these beings that appear. With that in mind, what type of being is the One Who Waits? It's important that before we speculate on who the One Who Waits is, we need to think about what kind of being he or they might be. As we said, the One Who Waits is a being that even the toy maker was afraid of. The toy maker himself is one of the Great Old Ones, a group of ancient races from the pre-universe who have a hierarchy based on their level of reality-bending power, with some sources putting the Elder Gods as the top. If the One Who Waits is so powerful that the toy maker was afraid of him, this indicates that he too is a Great Old one who's higher up the Great Old One food chain than the toy maker, so possibly being an Elder God. And in my opinion, Russell T Davies has said about fantastical beings, and the trailer teasing powers beyond this universe corroborates this theory. But if the One Who Waits is a Great Old One, this begs the question, which one is he? This transitions nicely into who the One Who Waits is. For fans of the classic series and the audio stories, you may know of one Elder God that fits the limited description and clues that we have on the One Who Waits' identity: Fenric. For those who don't know, Fenric is an Elder God who is trapped in an urn by an early incarnation of the Doctor between his first and sixth incarnations. According to the novel Quantum Archangel and the novel adaptation of The Curse of Fenric, the Doctor achieved this when he challenged Fenric to a game of chess in 3rd century Constantinople, wearing the Elder God out with a series of days-long stalemates. The urn later fell into the hands of Vikings, who eventually brought it to Britain sometime after the 10th century, with the urn ending up in Northumberland, where it remained until 1943. During his imprisonment, Fenric was still able to manipulate time and space to a limited degree, often through the use of time storms, which he used to summon the last of the Haemovores from a potential future of Earth to medieval England. This Ancient One was the last member of a vampiric species that humanity could become if the Earth became a polluted wasteland, similar to the dregs in the Orphan 55 timeline. This Ancient One worked for Fenric for centuries, converting victims in Northumberland into new hemovores to build Fenric an army. At the same time, Fenric also used his power to create cursed bloodlines, people whose descendants would unwittingly bring about Fenric's release centuries later. The Doctor's companion Ace McShane was one of these wolves of Fenric. Ultimately, Fenric was freed briefly in 1943, first possessing Dr. Judson, a British scientist working for the Allies in World War II, and later an Allied Soviet captain named Sorin. However, Fenric's victory was short-lived, as the Doctor convinced the Ancient One that now that Fenric was freed, he had no further use for the Haemivore, and would likely kill him. The Ancient One then proceeded to destroy Sorin's body. However, it was later revealed that Fenric escaped as a weakened, disembodied entity. Fenric would then go on to return in the Gods and Monsters story arc in the Big Finish audios, this time having broken ranks from the other Elder Gods and going head-to-head with Wayland, his arch-rival, in an attempt to gain Wayland's shield. This artifact would make any Elder God omnipotent, which caused the other Elder Gods to fear Fenric as they knew they could still die despite their power, and so they backed Wayland in their battle. The Seventh Doctor, Ace, Hex, Sally and Lysandra had all been drawn into the Elder Gods' battle, unaware that the Doctor had become aware of Fenric's attempts to find Wayland's shield, and had been willingly fighting individual Elder Gods in his adventures to get Fenric's attention. Fenric was later defeated when Hex sacrificed his physical form, causing the Elder Gods' dimension, the board, to collapse, leaving Hex's ghost, Fenric, and Wayland trapped in the void it left behind. So could Fenric be the one who waits? Well, for one thing, we know Fenric has used the Toymaker as a pawn in his larger schemes before. Also from the Gods and Monsters audio series, which he last appeared in. So this demonstrates that he is of higher power than the Toymaker. Additionally, Fenric's history could be alluded to by the name The One Who Waits, as he waited centuries in the urn to be released. While the evidence is a bit circumstantial, Fenric's nature as an Elder God, one who doesn't care much for their hierarchy for that matter, and his unwavering patience and ability to plot for centuries makes him, in my opinion, the most likely candidate. But he's not the only one. There's two other beings who fit the profile quite nicely: the Black Guardian and the Valeyard. While there's no direct evidence linking to either of these beings, there are aspects of both of their characters which make them a good fit for the One Who Waits. Starting with the Black Guardian. The Black Guardian is also a Great Old One, being a member of the Guardians of Time. He and his counterpart, the White Guardian, joust with each other for power, with the White Guardian aiming to maintain order in the cosmos, with the Black Guardian aiming to bring about chaos. The two Guardians first appear in the 1978 Season 16 storylines centering around the Key to Time, a relic that either Guardian can use to strengthen their power and bring about their respective goals for the universe. In this season, the Fourth Doctor and Romana were sent by the White Guardian to assemble the Key to Time, its segments scattered and disguised throughout time and space. The Black Guardian followed them in hot pursuit, hoping to sabotage their quest. When this attempt failed, he attempted to trick the Doctor and Romana by appearing to them as the White Guardian to take the completed key from them. Though the Doctor saw through this ruse and broke the key and escaped before the Black Guardian could catch them. The Black Guardian later tried to manipulate Vizsla Turlough into killing the Fifth Doctor. However, Turlough eventually refused and turned on him at the end of the Eternals race for enlightenment in the episode by the same name. So the Black Guardian, like Fenric, has used lesser species as acolytes. He also played the long game in his attempt to steal the Key to Time and kill the Fifth Doctor, manipulating the situation from the shadows. And as a Guardian of Time, he is certainly more powerful than the Toymaker. However, what if it wasn't the one who waits' metaphysical power that the Toymaker was so afraid of? This brings us to the Valeyard. The Valeyard's exact nature is unknown, though the best description we have of him comes from the 1986 episode Trial of the Time Lord from the Tremas Master, who described the Valeyard as an amalgamation of the darker aspects of the Doctor's personality originating between the Doctor's penultimate and final regenerations. At the time, this was believed to be his post-Time War 10th and 11th incarnations. Though this never happened with the renewal of the Doctor's ability to regenerate in The Time of the Doctor, and later the Timeless Child revelation, the Valeyard once said himself that he could never be avoided, only postponed. So there's still a chance that he may manifest in a later incarnation of the Doctor. The Valeyard's main goal appears to be to prolong his life by stealing the Doctor's remaining regenerations, heedless of any paradoxes this may cause. If he's still out there, he'd be in for an all-you-can-eat buffet now, because we know that the Doctor has infinite regenerations, being the Timeless Child. We will discuss the Valeyard's origins in a future episode, though while he may remain a mysterious figure, we do know that he's an offshoot of the Doctor in some capacity. Though he appeared through various audio stories, some of which the canonicity is disputable, we know that from his last televised appearance that he definitely escaped the Time Lord's Matrix and later escaped Gallifrey. Now, imagine a being with all the Doctor's brilliance, but in equal measure, all of the Doctor's unfiltered darkness. That is the Valeyard, a ruthless Gallifreyan with no heed for the consequences of his actions outside of his own goals. What if this unbridled darkness and sheer confusing nature of the Valeyard was enough to scare the Toymaker into fleeing? It would certainly make for a compelling story, and not to mention one very scary villain. Ultimately, I think either Fenric or the Black Guardian are the most likely candidates for the One Who Waits. If the One Who Waits is not one of these two explicitly, I think that it is likely that the One Who Waits will have been inspired by these two great old ones. The Valeyard, however, is a fascinating alternative theory, and even if he isn't the One Who Waits, I do hope that he makes an appearance in this new era of Doctor Who. But who do you guys think the One Who Waits is? Is there someone I've missed? Let us know in the comments section for this episode on your favourite podcast app, or in the comments section of the promo post of this episode on our Instagram and TikTok pages, at Tardisian Files Podcasts. You can also follow our social media pages for updates on upcoming episodes. You can see links to all of the places our podcast can be heard, and you can even listen to sound bites of our previous episodes. Thank you for listening, and as always, see you next time on Tardisian Files.